To go to college or not to go to college? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the homework and headaches of academia, or to take arms against a sea of other options, and by planning, choose another way. Okay, enough with the schmancy fancy language. Let's put this in everyday English. This course is to help prepare you for college and university life. But before we dive into that, we've got an important question to answer first. Is college right for you? Sounds crazy, I know. We've all been taught that after high school, college is the mandatory next step. But in this video, we'll be tackling the myths of university attendance, along with the pros and cons of college life, the aptitude and readiness needed, and the other options that could be waiting for you. So let's get started. Now, we all know that college has been the expected step for high school graduates for a long time. Your next-door neighbor, Ms. Petty, probably reminds you of this every day when you check your mail. You must go to university, darling. It's the only way for you to get a job and end up like me. Thanks for that advice, Ms. Petty, but that's actually the first myth we're going to talk about today. Myth number 1. Going to college is a job guarantee. While college can provide education and connections, it does not necessarily guarantee that you will be hired. Remember, as my great-grandfather said, ain't nothing in life sure except death and taxes. Myth number 2, only college can provide necessary education. Although I love school, trust me, I love school so much that I got 3 degrees. I actually learned a lot simply through life experience. College is not the only way to learn. Many people have learned through experience, apprenticeships, internships, classes, workshops, and multiple other avenues. Myth 3. A college degree is the only path to success. Many people believe that graduating from a university is the only way to build a really successful career. However, that's not always the case. Just ask any of these people. Now, that's not to say that there aren't any pros to attending universities. There are a lot. So let's take a look. First pro. There are specific jobs that require a collegiate degree. So for instance, if you want to be a nuclear engineer, or a medical doctor, or a veterinarian, you will need a university education to even qualify for the job. Second pro. Statistically speaking, college graduates make more money on average. Those with collegiate degrees typically have larger salaries than those without. However, keep in mind that statistics are not always true for everyone, and they may not be true for you. Without going to college, you may earn just as much or more. Third pro, networking. And no, I'm not talking about some kind of online computer game. Your college and your professors can provide connections to professionals in your field and even offer opportunities to apprentice, intern, or work for companies during your years of study. Additionally, your fellow students are an extremely valuable connection for the future, as you can build a community or a business together. Fourth pro, signaling to an employer that you are capable. When an employer sees a collegiate degree on your resume, they can assume that you already have the necessary education and capability to perform the job for which you are applying. They can also see that you have the dedication and work ethic to finish the requirements to get your degree. Fifth pro, the college experience. Being in college can be a wonderful time. Living in dorms, hanging out in the courtyard, staying up late with your friends to study, and all the other fun, crazy, memorable times that can't be had anywhere else. Now, while these are all wonderful pros to attending college, there are significant cons, starting with student debt. Having student debt can have long-lasting effects that can impact your ability to buy a house, pursue a specific career path, and lower your credit score. Also, student debt is different from other types of debt. I know that sounds weird. Debt is debt, right? Well, not exactly. When you buy an object like a house or a car and can't make the payments, you can simply return the car or the house. You can't exactly do that with student debt because you've already received the knowledge and you can't really pull it out of your head. Student loans are also rarely forgiven in bankruptcy court, and federal student loans have no statute of limitations, which basically means they never expire. Second con, the time spent. Remember, your time is valuable. We only live once, so the time you spend at college is precious. Also, in monetary terms, you will be losing out on approximately 4 years of work. Compounding the lost 4-year income with the cost of student tuition and housing and student debt can be significant. Third con, as previously mentioned, a collegiate degree is not a job guarantee. Spending all the money to go to a university does not ensure that you will be hired upon graduation, especially if you get a degree in a field like liberal arts or humanities. And I say that as someone who has 3 degrees, all in liberal arts and humanities. While there is value in studying those subjects, and there are certainly jobs in those fields, it can be quite difficult to find them. And going to a university does not guarantee a career. Fourth con, stress and unnecessary classes. I'm not gonna lie. While going to college can be the best time of your life, it can also be one of the most stressful. There is a lot to juggle while at a university. Some classes that you are required to take may seem pointless or a review of what you've already learned in high school. A large part of going to college is jumping through hoops to get that final important piece of paper. So, now that you know the pros and cons, how do you decide if college is right for you? Well, look at your aptitude and readiness. First off, are you good at school? Are you academically minded? Do you know how to study? Secondly, do you even want to go to college? This is a huge one. Sometimes we feel like we have to do something because of society's expectations. Believe me, college should not be for you if you don't even want to be there. Thirdly, do you know what degree you want? Yes, our lives can take different paths and careers and interests can completely change, and that's totally fine. However, it's a lot of time and money to commit if you're not really sure what you want. Fourthly, do you thrive in a collegiate environment? Not everyone learns or works best in a university setting, and that's okay. The pressures and stress of a traditional school setting aren't for everyone. And guess what? They don't have to be. There are other options out there. So let's explore them. Number 1, delayed entry. You could take a year or a few years before matriculating. Lots of students in Norway, Denmark, and Turkey take a gap year before heading to college. During that time, you can travel, work, and have lots of valuable life experience. Number 2, certifications. In some career fields, you don't need a collegiate degree. Rather, you can get an education from a training school or a program instead. These fields can include cosmetology, project management, digital marketing, programming, information systems, forensic, teaching English as a second language with certifications like TESOL or TEFL, among many others. Number 3, specialized training. There are other types of schools that you can attend besides colleges or universities. These include trade schools, tech schools, culinary schools, healthcare schools, and artistic conservatories. There are multiple career options and fields from these places, as you have seen above. Number 4, apprenticeships. Many companies offer apprentice programs to train interested prospective candidates in their field. Tech companies, law firms, and nursing programs, among others, offer apprenticeships. Number 5, build your own business. I knew this guy, growing up, who began mowing lawns while he was still in high school. He did not attend college, but Fast forward a few years later, and he owns a huge lawn care business. He now has multiple teams who work underneath him and has expanded to commercial lawn care for businesses. Now, okay, mowing lawns may not be for you, but there are plenty of other lucrative businesses that you could build in fields like coding, app development, baking, Etsy stores, consulting, marketing, design, freelance programming, graphic design, investing, being a personal assistant. The list goes on and on and on, for basically as far as your imagination can take you. So, is college right for you? Well, that's something that only you can answer. Examine your priorities, personality, preferences, and personal goals by using the thought-provoking questions and prompts in the workbook for this lesson. The workbook also includes outside resources that will help you discover specific education requirements for specific careers. If you are still unsure, maybe try out MiaPrep's career exploration course to see the reality of different jobs and what is required to do them. Then, you can come back if you see that your preferred career requires a collegiate degree. And if that's the case, similar to some more Shakespearean Hamlet words, I will say to you, get thee to a university.